morning. Yep, that's the bed head. So it's almost 7. Just ran out, got my coffee, got a coffee for my wife, picked up a little bit of ice for the beer to keep it outside, and hopefully this rain holds off. It said it's supposed to be potential showers today, but when watching the radar, it looks like it's kind of coming up. It's dissipating a little bit, which will be nice. But what I wanted to do here was can't just keep moving forward, right? One of the things I like to do is when it comes to big projects like this is I know like the morning of, similar to like a vacation, the night before you're getting on a flight to go somewhere else. Sometimes for me, I can't really sleep well. I just kind of thinking about wanting to get up and go. So slow myself down, taking some time, and I have to get some tools out of the shed because I did not get to do any of the backfill yesterday. What I did do though was I finished putting all my stakes in. So I was short 2 stakes and the plate. So let me go ahead and I put the extra board up. So let me go ahead and show you what I did there. Just, what the expectation for today is as we move forward. Stick around. So I'll start off with the plates. So you'll notice here I was doing those. I had those big corner plates down there that I was using. And I had 4 of those, used them all. And I just threw in a flat plate here. No, I did not butt it right up against the edge. I'm not overly concerned about that. I didn't really need it to be touching here because on the other side of this is going to eventually filled in with stone, mulch, whatever, and have shrubs on it. But the plate's in. I used the shorter 1-inch here, and then I used my 2.5s over here to go right through this little bit of trim piece into the stud. Now, if you look over here, these are my stakes. These stakes were and I call them stakes, they were actually for deck rails. They were those splines that go in between the deck rails. I bought a bunch of those. I think they were just under $2 a piece at Home Depot. I ended up cutting them in half and then cutting 45 on the other end. That gave me, instead of 1 single stake, I then had 2 that were about 21 inches long. So you can imagine if I've only got a 6-inch board and I'm only using maybe 5 inches of it, give or take, sometimes a little bit less down here, depending on how far I got the stake. That gave me, a good 14 to 18 inches in the ground. And these went right through, which was really nice to get to. So you can see there, got it mounted. So as I went around here, I just made sure that they were all level, made sure the board was level, mounted the stake, mounted the board, and I threw in the extra screws. So you can see I got 3 altogether on each side and 2 on each stake. So this thing's fairly solid. On the corners here, you can see where I did the up piece. So this is where the step up happens. I'm trying to put my coffee down without spilling it, if I can. Find some level ground here. So actually, what am I doing? That's even better. So this board right here runs all the way to the end in there. You can see that right there. And then I laid this one on top, and then I mounted the same 12-inch piece because it's 6 and 6, so it goes across the whole thing. And I just mounted it in there and screwed it all together. And then the stake put in, and I put a screw here and one down here, so it grabs both sides. So that's what I did for my step-ups. I went around, and so every joint essentially has a stake, and that stake you can see there, I mounted it to both boards. So I've got it on the top board and then on this board and then down there. So that's on all 3 boards because remember I told you yesterday this right here was a low spot for me. So if I had continued in with the 1 step up that's down there, if that continued in, that would have gone, you can see right there, it's buried into the ground, not really sticking up much, and there wouldn't have been a lot there for mulch. And not to mention just the aesthetic of it, because if you look at the way the ground is, I'm not trying to take material out of here, but I want to have this all filled up with mulch, so it gives me a nice clean look, and it'll just help to keep the mulch in. Again, I threw the board here to connect the 2 lower ones, and then I went up and down here and left this piece on the overhang. I'm not worried about it. Again, this is the back. It's going to look clean. It fits. And we just went around. Same thing here. Mounted it right in, front, back, and so on and so forth. And what you end up with is a nice clean line. So you can see here, I started doing the fill yesterday with my father. Still need more to do. But what I'm gonna do this morning is I'm gonna start hitting that up right there and just get some fill along the sides and keep going. So I'm gonna start shoveling some dirt here till probably about 8 or so. Give me an hour of that plus, and then I will go and start doing my my layout and my setup for the tools. All right, stick around. I feel like I say stick around at the end of every one of these clips, which seems completely unnecessary. But anyway, yeah, so gonna debate about an hour, maybe an hour and a half. We'll see where I get with this. Then I'm gonna start ripping open boxes and spacing things out. I don't know if I wanna lay the tarp out just yet, because if it does start to rain, I'm gonna have to find something alternative. So what I might end up doing is just pulling the tractor and some space out of the shed. It might get wet, but whatever. And then I can use the shed as the landing pad for everything. So if it is raining, it's still out, but it's protected. So I think that's where I'm gonna go with this, and just so it's laid out in there on the tarp. And then it's a quick, short walk around the corner here to get what we need. All right, let's get to work. I got about, I don't know, 6 or 7 wheelbarrows down over there on the outside. Just all, where's my finger? There we go. On the outside of that. On the inside, I'm either gonna shove a little bit over, or I'm just gonna take it from the inside and I'll just till it up a little bit and bring it down. I haven't quite decided on that yet. But if you look over here, this is my pile. This is where a lot of that dirt got moved. It actually was, like I said, it was right here, and it was about as tall as my hand is. So, and he was able to push it down a little bit and make it more workable. So I've been coming in here getting free dirt, free fill. It's actually really clean, nice dirt. So, yeah, it's been working pretty well, but just thought I'd throw that out there. So I am gonna be just keep pouring that down. I've got it about 2/3 of the way. I gotta finish up this last corner over here, and then just do another probably 1 or 2 in here, just to kind of fill in a couple of gaps I see. But that's gonna be it, and then I'm gonna start raking it out and move into putting down the fabric. So stay tuned for that. All right, that is done. For the outside, I should say. You can see here, it's all been filled in, back filled up, all on the side. I even got up there. Now for the inside, again, this here, I'm gonna get the tiller out really quick, and I'm just gonna go around the edge and till up some of the dirt and then rake it up against it. I'm not looking to go crazy on the inside, because again, that's gonna get filled up with mulch. And so if I look from back here, I'm gonna kind of walk away. I want you to really be able to see this, but you can see the swale. If I come, let's see, the best way I can show you. So right here, I'm about level with where my pool is, and you can see that's about where those boards are sitting. So I come up here and you can see this whole section right here that I keep talking about. Let me get my hand down, right in there. That is all just low ground. So the goal in having this all raised up a little bit more than just being near the ground and level is that I'm gonna have this worked down, and I'm gonna get a whole bunch of fill in here. I'm not gonna worry about the soil, and I'm not gonna do it right now. This will be a fall project that I'll bring to you. I'm gonna have just a crap ton of just clean fill just dumped in here that I can just kind of rake out, box grade it, clear it all up, and bring the whole backyard up quite a bit to match. Again, at that point it'll match up really nice with these boards. So, and then I can worry about putting a nice clean soil on top of it and go from there. So that's a fall thing. We're not there to that. I don't want to run the tiller yet because I don't know if the kids are up. So I'm waiting to hear that. I know I'm being too courteous, but there are many other things I can do. So I'm gonna go ahead and start pulling some other things together. All right, we are rolling. I did my backfill with the tiller real quick. That worked out well. And now I'm just doing the fabric. Again, that's the 4 by 225 foot roll, so I'm able to just kind of stake it down. So I'm doing 3 across here, and then I'm rolling it down all the way, and then I'm staking just the one side. Then I come down and I do a middle, so almost like a 5-sided die is what it's gonna look like, right? So you're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all the way down. And then I overlapped about, I don't know, maybe 6 inches or so, all the way down and across. Let me get that zoom in. And then I'm gonna do my last row of stakes right there to get both of those in, so I kind of double use the stakes. instead of having to keep going over itself. I'm just gonna do the same thing. So this is 2 in. That's about the halfway mark. So I'm gonna need 3, 4, 5, so say about 6 rows of this all together. So pushing along. All right, got my stakes. This comes with stakes. These things came with their own little stakes, but I literally ran out before I even got to the end of my first row up there. So just food for thought. It's always good to buy extra stakes. You'll need them. You can never have too many. All right, pushing along. A little bit of rain, but just in case you didn't understand what goes into this, that was all our pieces that we mapped out. That's all the wood that came out of the boxes. And here we are putting it all together. So, yep, it's like building a mini house. So, good times. So that's about a day. My parents are leaving. They were here all day. The kids were really good, thank God. My mom was inside with them with my wife. She got to go to the gym today. So that worked out well. It's raining right now. It's kind of been like this all day. It's been rainy and crummy and just, I don't know, off drizzle. I wouldn't even say rain, but now it's starting to actually come down a little harder. So we did pack up. I put everything in the shed, just to kind of store it away. We are, I would say it's like 80% done. That was a full day of work with basically 4 guys that have been going at it since 9 or so. So 9 to 4. So pretty good day's work. Stopped for some meal, had a beer or 2 during the project. What are you going to do? But yeah, it went up. Things went pretty smoothly, as you can see. I'm kind of done walking over there for the day, but we've got mostly everything up. There's just pages and pages of instructions. I'm going to tell you right now, the hardest thing about putting this together, we went out, we laid out all the parts, made sure all the wood was labeled. We actually took a marker and wrote down the part numbers around the wood because you couldn't even really see the stamped numbers they had. Sorted it all out, made sure we had everything layered, ready to go. The bag of bolts and screws and everything was actually pretty well labeled. They had it all kind of separated in its own trays, but we laid it all out on the cardboard. I had the tent going so we could have a place to have everything tucked. The hardest part though is you're reading the instructions as you're going through, and it's like, okay, step 3, it's, you grab part 7943 and you're gonna need 4 H21 screws with LW, which is long washers, and FWs and flat washers, whether they're 1s and 2s, and then T's, which are the little teeth nuts that go on the backside for the bolts. You're gonna need all that. And it's like, okay, by the time you find the wood, by the time you get all the bolts together and you find those, put them in your basket, you get over there and you start putting it all together. Make sure it's oriented the right way, make sure it goes up, make sure everything's level and squared as you're putting it up. You're anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes per step. So, 98 plus steps, which is what we got through so far. Like I said, the only things left now are the slide, the roundabout slide, the main slides, and that's pretty much it. And then the rock wall going up. But those are all small things. I can get to those. I'm probably going to finish those up probably tomorrow's Mother's Day, probably come Monday, and then I got to get the mulch dropped off in here and get going with that. However, it's mostly done. I'm excited. I'm a little tired. It's been a long day. And I'm kind of calling it quits. I'm going to go take a shower. I'm going to get cleaned up. I'm going to put my sweats on. I'm going to relax tonight because I'm just kind of done. I've been going at it nonstop for a few days now. But we're almost there. It was a lot of work. I should note, we actually used, it's the Kid Craft Portland. We got it at BJ's. Pretty nice set. A lot of pieces, but as with everything, it's not some kind of rainbow set that's going to be, it's going to last you 50 years, but I don't need it to. It fills the area. It's going to look good when it's done. I'll make sure I update you with some more videos and get some little bit closer how-tos and all the little intricacies. I'm not going to go through all the steps I went through because you can do that when you buy your own swing set and go through the manual, but I'll kind of show you where we might have had some trouble spots and just kind of got caught up and just went on our own path for a couple of things, but he got it done. Anyways, that's my update so far. It's raining. I'm cold. It's not, by no means feel like a May day. By no means feels like a May day. It feels like sometime in March, April. Anyway, have a great day. I'll talk to you guys later. Take care.